So a question for you guys, because some of you I know are a little old school when it comes to this thing. Who besides you and your significant other has permission to lay their hands on your kids? 1-855-BERT Show. Now, I've been very lucky with my kids. My kids were never a problem when it came to discipline whatsoever. But I do think that if they were back in the day, like my father-in-law or my mother-in-law would have had the right, like, hey, you're getting out of hand? Psh, I trusted them for that, right? Last night on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, things got a little bit crazy, right? With Kourtney and Scott Disick and the guy that Kris Jenner is dating.
I don't have a nanny anymore. What? She said Penelope scratched her face, but Pete can be out of control. I think she almost like blacks out and like does these wild things.
It's so much more serious than I think you realize because I had 6 kids. Not one time in my entire life did anyone ever have a complaint like this.
There's nothing I could take away from her physically that she will care about. Mason I could take away, whatever, he cares. Penelope does not care. Every kid is different.
I'm sorry, but if he scratched me for no reason, I'm whipping her. And I'll explain to y'all later.
What?
I would whip her.
You would whoop Penelope's if she scratched you?
I would give her a spanking for sure.
My daughter? What are you talking about?
Scratch me
You
in my
would whoop
face.
my daughter's if she touched you?
No, scratch me.
She scratched.
You would whip my daughter's
Why not?
if she scratched you?
Why not?
A little 6-year-old girl?
That's
What are you talking about?
That's the problem.
Stop it.
But
Stop
that's the
it,
problem.
Bert.
But that's
Stop
the
it.
problem.
You're not going to beat my little daughter.
Not beat. I would.
I don't think he's
Hey.
meaning like
He
beat
just said
us.
it.
He does
Hey.
mean that. He does
You
mean
just
that.
said you would beat my daughter.
I said
if
whip.
she scratched you.
So that's Scott Disick, and he's like, no, Corey. Corey's not even like a relative of the family. He's not married in, nothing. He's just dating Kris Jenner right now. And he was saying, look, if that kid scratches me, I'm going to spank your kid. And Scott's like, no, you're not. But there are some that think it's perfectly okay, right? Within anybody in the family.
Growing up, for me, that's how it was. Anytime you were left with a family member, it was pretty much known that that family member had a right to put their hands on you if they needed to. But nowadays, I think it's a little different. And from the sounds of that clip, I'm with Chris. His name's Chris. Is it Chris? His name? The guy who was saying, "Don't hit my daughter." Yeah, I'm with him on that one.
no,
that's
Scott.
Oh,
Yeah.
Scott. Yeah, I'm with him.
Yeah.
I have 2 nephews and a niece that are like my blood. I would never lay my hands on them. They're not my kids.
And I got a 5-year-old in the house right now that is Tiffany's daughter. I would never. No way.
Now, I've reprimanded them before, and I've called them out for their bad behavior, and we have that understanding. But as far as like, and that's me. Those are like my blood relations. So if Bart, my husband, who is like technically, yes, that's his niece and nephews, but he's not blood related. Absolutely not. That ain't gonna fly.
I wouldn't hit him for free. If the parents were paying me to follow him around the grocery store, and when the kid's like, buy me that toy, I'm like, smack, for $10
Look,
a smack.
I have met parents before that said, yeah, the nanny has permission to go ahead and if my kids are out of control.
I get that. Yeah, the person who's in charge of watching your kids, like my mom, Granny, watches the kids a lot. They should have permission to do that if that is the way you want to do punishments in your home, if that's established.
1-855-BERT Show. Who outside your significant other has permission to lay their hands on your kids? Samantha, good morning.
Good morning. Love you guys. Listened to you for a long time.
Thank you.
I actually regret giving permission. So the reason why I say that is we had went to a church in Texas, and Sunday school teacher, some of the kids were getting out of hand. So they wrote up a thing that said, if your kid's going to participate in Sunday school, we have permission to discipline them as time be needed to. At this time, my son was really little, and he was in a group setting with a bunch of kids. So, of course, he's not going to sit still and be quiet like they needed him to. And it really did, like, I told my husband, I was like, I don't feel comfortable with this. But I did it because I was like, well, we're not going to be able to listen to the sermon with him if he's not in Sunday school. But it's definitely one of the biggest regrets in my life I ever did. And I wish I hadn't done it.
Why? They ended up doing it and you didn't feel good about it?
Yeah, they, the lady had done it without my permission ahead of time beforehand. And I went to the pastor of the church and explained my concerns, and basically was like, oh, well, this is how we run things in this church. We're all a family. So basically get over it.
Whoa.
They say it takes a village.
Zoe, good morning. You're on the Bert Show. Hey.
Hey,
So I have a group of girlfriends and their husbands, obviously, and we swap kids like every weekend so that one couple gets to go out for the week, or the other couples get to go out for the weekend while one of us watches all the kids, and we all have permission to discipline each other's children. It hasn't come to that yet, but we do all have permission. And my kid's kind of an a-hole. Like, she's super smart. Well, she's super smart, but she uses her intelligence to, like, weasel out of things and loophole things. And so, timeout, you put her in timeout, you tell her, explain to her, do all the things, and it doesn't faze her. So sometimes I do pop her. It's not like I'm not, like, beating her, but I do give her a pop.
So any one of your girlfriends that's watching her, you will let your daughter know that, hey, they have the right to, like, pop you, so you better be good. Any one of those girlfriends?
It's two of them. It's not any of my girlfriends. It's those two because we swapped the kids, and their husbands don't. It's not. It's only the females.
Okay. And Abby, good morning.
Hi. If I'm leaving my kid with someone and she's 6 years old scratching them, they most definitely have the right to beat her. She knows better.
So
my 6-month-old scratches people, not a 6-year-old. She's way too big for doing that.
So anybody that is watching your kid, if they get out of hand.
If I'm leaving them with her, they're responsible anyway. So, yeah.
I mean, I feel like, too, if you're leaving your kid with somebody, you trust that person implicitly because you're trusting them with your most prized possession.
Right.
The Bert Show.